Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Ear, and this is the podcast of Love, Light, and Shadow, where I will talk about everything having to do with spirituality, astrology, all things metaphysical, different types of healing modalities out there. It's just going to be a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement for all of us. I will talk about love and light and bringing light to our shadow and to our dark places in our life. These things touch my heart and are near and dear to my soul. And remembering my true essence has helped me tremendously, and I just want to share that with all of you and hopefully help you find your way as well. Thank you for being part of my journey, and I am completely honored to be a part of yours. So I have been on my own healing journey for about several years now. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a journey. I will tell you that right now. I've become very passionate about healing and helping other people heal as well. I've become very passionate about spirituality and also very passionate about universal law and everything spirituality related. I've become very passionate about different types of healing modalities, and I just really have this drive and this calling to help people step into their authentic power. I have a calling to really help people find themselves, and not because they're lost, because you've always known who you are. I just want to help people remember who they are and who their true essence is. I truly feel like that's one of my biggest life purposes and life goals. So I know that when I started my healing journey several years ago, it was scary, it was lonely, I was very intimidated by it. I felt like I was going crazy. I didn't have anybody to talk to, and I didn't feel like anybody around me understood what I was going through. Now, years later, I'm surrounded by a loving group of people. I've found my soul tribe, and I feel welcomed in this world and in my new light. So my main purpose right now is to spread my light, to help people on their own healing journeys, and to help them heal themselves and to help them rediscover who they are. We're never lost. We feel lost because we don't remember who we are. We don't remember who our soul is. Our ego tries to take over, and I'm here to try to help you neutralize your ego. We don't want to destroy it because the ego is important, so we don't want to destroy it. What we want to do is we want to recognize our ego, and we want to know how to deal with it. The importance of this is finding our own way, finding our own path. This path of self-discovery and self-improvement is a beautiful one. It's important to find who you are, to find your true essence, so that you can truly blossom into the soul that you're meant to be. We've all signed up for this human experience, and we've all forgotten about that. We often wander through this lifetime wondering what we're doing, what our purpose is. I'm here to tell you today that your purpose is to awaken. And I know a lot of us don't like that term. I know that I don't like it either. It's kind of cringy. But the only reason it's cringy is because that's what our ego puts on it. But truly, it is awakening. It is opening our eyes, and it is recognizing and realizing who we are. Please join me on this journey of self-discovery and self-improvement, self-healing, and finding who you truly are and stepping into your true and authentic power. This first episode today will cover universal law, and I thank you for taking the first step in this journey, and I thank you for listening to this, and I hope that you listen to many more. And I'm glad to be on this journey with you, and I'm so thankful that you're on mine with me. So I feel like the number one most important thing that you can learn and you can discover while you're on a spiritual journey is universal law. So what is universal law? It's a term that's thrown out there a lot, but I'm not sure that a lot of people actually understand what it means. But it's pretty simple. Universal law is just law, rules that govern the universe. It's much different than man's law. It's much different than governmental law. Man's law and governmental law is more about control and authority and power, where it's somebody else controlling you, somebody else controlling people. Universal law is often used for manifestation. It's not so much used for control. It's more used to assist people, assist you on your spiritual journey, and so that you can truly discover yourself again. Basically, universal law is just a way to live your life in the most authentic manner. It allows you to gain insight into yourself and to truly find yourself. But I often try to stray away from the term find yourself because I truly feel like we're never lost and that we're always in there and we are just truly rediscovering ourselves and we're truly just remembering who we are. So if you look online, if you look on Google, there are many, many different resources out there regarding universal law. A lot of them list universal laws in different orders, a different amount of numbers for the universal laws, but all in all, there seems to be an infinite amount of universal laws. It's like every single time I look at universal law, it just seems to be one more out there that I've never even looked at before or never even thought of. However, throughout all of my research, I've found that the number one universal law consistently is always the universal law of divine oneness. And by far, this is the most important universal law because once we're able to master this one, once we're able to really get this one down, then we're able to really truly we're able to understand all of the other universal laws out there, and we can put the other ones into play a lot quicker once we are able to understand the universal law of divine oneness. The universal law of divine oneness simply just states that we are all one. I am you, and you are me, and we are all one, and together we all form the collective consciousness. So we are all connected, and since we're all energy, and since everything in this universe is composed of energy, we are one with everything in the universe. This includes people, this includes places, things, plants, animals, and it also includes things like thoughts, energy, vibration, and other planets in the cosmos, and even light and dark, because that's all energy as well. The importance of universal law is to teach us empathy and compassion. It teaches us to look within for the things that we see outside. For example, we are all love. And this is one of the most important things that I will say in this podcast over and over and over again, is that we are all love. Love comes from within. So we can look out into the world and we can see that a mother has love for their child. We can see the love that the mother has for the child, and we can also see that she has it for herself as well and for others. We have that love as well, and we are also capable of that love. We are also capable of giving that love out to other people, and we're also capable of having that love for ourselves. So an example that I like to provide to people regarding the universal law of divine oneness is an example of a young woman that I used to know. So when I met her, outwardly in this point in my life, I seemed fairly well put together, and I seemed like I just had my stuff together. I worked really hard to get to this point in my life, though, and I am about 15 years older than this young woman that I had met. So Oftentimes, though, when you see someone who's well put together, you don't know what their struggle is. You don't know how hard they fought to get there. You don't know whether or not they were born privileged or whether or not they had a struggle with challenges in their lives. So this young woman opened up to me and she expressed that she was going through some things. She confided in me about private things, and she lost hope in herself and she lost faith in herself. She felt like she wasn't on the right path, and she felt like she was making mistake after mistake after mistake. And she was also suffering from diagnosed mental illness. And she discussed this with me in private. I ended up opening up to her, and I informed her that within the last decade, I was right where she was. I also was diagnosed with mental illness. I also felt lost in my life for quite a while. I felt hopeless. I just didn't know where I was going. I could really, really relate to her on a level that she didn't think that I could, because I seemed so well put together and because of all this growth that I've made over the last few years. Me opening up to her was almost like a form of energy exchange. I opened up to her and I allowed her to know that I was where you are. I am you, and you are me, and we are all one. When I told her that I was where she was really shocked because I appear so well put together. So this is a prime example of the universal law of divine oneness, because I am her and she is me. I'm no longer where she is. No, I'm not. But I was, and it wasn't too long ago. And who's to say that I can't simply just sink back into that state, into that frequency, and into that vibration? We are all one. I was there, and she can be where I'm at. So I understood her. I knew where she was coming from. Everybody in the world has the capability to be where I was at that point in my life and where she was at that point in her life. We are all love, and we're all energy, and we're all vibration. And the universal law of divine oneness reminds us that it's just a matter of perception and how we see ourselves. It truly states that we are all one, we are all love, and we are all the same, even if we feel so dramatically different from one another. So the second universal law that I'm going to talk about is the universal law of vibration. The universal law of vibration is sometimes known as the universal law of energy or vibrational energy. This universal law states that everything is in constant motion, even things that look like they're not moving. The motion in which everything is moving is in a circular motion, and that's the motion of the vibration. And when I say everything has a vibration to it, I mean everything. Everything ranging from physical things that we can touch, see, taste, sense, smell even. And our thoughts and desires also have a vibration to them. And so do feelings and emotions, and just everything that you can think of has a vibrational energy to it. Everything, though, has the capability of having a higher vibration or a lower vibration. And if you don't like to use the term high vibration or low vibration, just think of it as light or dense. Something that is of a lighter vibration is much higher just because it doesn't have as much weight to it. Whereas something that is of a lower vibration is much more dense. It's much more heavy. It just kind of almost brings you down a little bit. So the speed at which something vibrates is called its frequency. So oftentimes you'll hear these terms used interchangeably even. So it's like vibration and frequency. So an example that I want to give of being able to feel a thought vibration is when you walk into a room. Oftentimes, when you walk into a room and the energy is off, you can feel it. Perhaps you can tell that someone was just talking about you, whether it be they were planning a surprise party for you, or whether it be they were talking about how much they like or dislike you. The importance of understanding vibration, though, is knowing where your vibration is at. It's very, very, very important to know where your vibration is at. We can raise and lower our own vibrations with our surroundings, our own thoughts, and the people, places, things, and situations that we allow into our lives. When we know our own vibration, we can tell when our vibration and frequency are not at the level in which they were at. This allows us to take time for ourselves as if our vibration is lower than normal or if it's lower than what we desire. Self-care is the best way to raise our vibration because essentially we are putting ourselves first and we're putting our needs first. We are telling ourselves that we are important. This is self-love and self-care. It's the number one way to raise your vibration. It's showing compassion for ourselves and for others. And when we show compassion for ourselves and others, our vibration becomes higher. We are showing ourselves positivity and we're showing ourselves love and we're showing ourselves that this is within us. And when we show ourselves that, we hold a lighter or higher vibration. And we also have higher thoughts about ourselves as well. So when I talk about vibration and frequency, I like to give an example that involves dating and love lives. And oftentimes I'll give examples about dating and our love lives because I kind of feel like everybody has been through it. So have you ever been told that you have a type? Perhaps you've noticed this on your own too, because I know that I have a type, or I had a type. I have no idea what my type is anymore, though. Do you attract a certain type of person into your life? Perhaps the people that you are attracted to all have similar interests or life goals or life passions or even jobs. Perhaps you find yourself having similar conversations with different people, but it seems like you're having the same conversations over and over and over again. Or maybe the people that you're attracted to often share the same types of stories. I had this happen to myself once, where I was dating somebody and I felt like I dated him before and it felt so familiar. And it was because he shared the same types of stories as other people from my past. It was very, very awkward and very weird. The reason why this happens, though, is because these people have the same vibration or have similar vibrations, regardless whether or not they outwardly appear the same, because they could be very, very different people outwardly, but have very similar vibrations and give you the same feeling that you feel inside of you. So this is the love that we are attracting into our lives. And what we attract into our lives is usually almost always a vibrational match for us. If it's not a vibrational match for us, it's of a kind of almost denser vibration. So the love that we attract into our lives is what we are attracted to. So more than likely, it's because it's a vibrational match for us. So I often say that we need to love ourselves more and we need to love ourselves first. If you find yourself in patterns in relationships and you end up not liking the people that you have coming into your life, it's more than likely because of your own vibration that you're emitting. The more that we love ourselves, the higher our own vibration becomes. And then when we love ourselves more, we attract people who are of a better vibrational match for us. This is so important because the love that we accept into our lives is a vibrational match for us. So if you keep finding yourself with people of lower density vibrations, perhaps take a look deep inwards and see what you're putting out there as well. The third universal law that I'm going to talk about in this podcast is the universal law of action. The universal law of action states that every action has a different result, and this means that we must do things in order to get results. The universal law of oneness and vibration are wonderful, yes, but the universal law of action requires us to take action. With the universal law of vibration, we raise our vibration so that we can attract things into our lives. But with the universal law of action, we have to put forth effort into getting these things. We have to take action. Our thoughts and desires and that vibrational energy can really only get us so far. We can't wait for the universe to drop things on our doorstep for us because that's not usually how it happens. We have to put things into action, and we really can't just sit around and wait for the universe to come wipe our butts for us. We have to do it ourselves. The universal law of action holds us accountable, holds our ego accountable. It reminds us that we have to put forth effort into getting anything that we desire, whatever that might be. It might be a job, it might be a romantic partner, and it might even be raising our own vibration. For example, with raising our own vibration, self-care is the action that we must take. Self-care is taking the action to raise our own vibration. Sometimes the action is to wait and be patient, and that's okay too, but please know yourself well enough to know whether or not you're being patient or whether or not you're being dependent on others or the universe. Sometimes the law of action might seem a little bit intimidating, and it's because we make ourselves vulnerable. We put ourselves out there. What if we don't get the result that we want? That's just a risk that we have to take. Sometimes we put ourselves out there, sometimes we make ourselves vulnerable, and we don't get what we want. I can assure you, though, that even if we make ourselves vulnerable and we don't get what we wanted, the universe has a plan for us. The universe has a plan for us with every action that we take, even if what the universe wants for us is for us to raise our resilience. By raising our resilience, we raise our vibration and we're able to bounce back quicker from things that might upset us. I like to give the example of wanting to make $1 million by the end of the year by starting a small business or starting a business, because I feel like everybody understands financial abundance. Even if some of us no longer desire to have financial abundance, it's just a really easy example. So if you want to make $1 million by the end of the year, by starting your own business, you have to actually start the business. You have to put that into action. You can't just sit at home on your couch and watch Netflix and do nothing and expect $1 million business to blossom from your actions of sitting on the couch. That doesn't happen for everybody. I'm sure it's happened before, but it doesn't happen for everybody. You have to put it into action, and then you have to go out and get it. And that's what the universal law of action states, that you have to take action. Thank you so much for listening to my very first podcast episode on the podcast of Love, Light, and Shadow, where I talk about everything related to spirituality, everything metaphysical, astrology related, and everything about universal law. I really look forward to doing more of these, and I hope that you listen again. And I love you all, and I hope you guys all have a great day. And remember to be love, be the light, and be the shadow. Thank you.